Hello everyone, this is Obscure Titan with a animation update for Nibiru Crisis Lithium. I'm debating whether I'm going to be doing one or two of these updates for each film going forward, but I guess unless if anything comes up for Nibiru Crisis Lithium or just however much I get done with it, because it's going to be a much shorter film compared to Godzilla Minus 3. I may just only do one update, and then when I get to Dark Redemption, it'll get about maybe two updates, probably even three, depending on the circumstances that come about. But so Nibiru Crisis Lithium is going to be a shorter film, as I've already stated. That's actually going to have two parts. So we've got one half that's going to focus on a Quartz character, Senator Ruby, where she and her accomplices find out where Makuta Pterodax is, being captured by the Covenant, and then they go rescue him. And part two is going to focus on Velvet Crow being accompanied by Sky in the Genie realm, where she would locate a forbidden book on Cybertron, as it was mentioned in at the end of Fall of Norkarki, where he said it's at the Mombasa Library, which would be on one of the Cybertronian Halo rings. So what I have right here is one of the Kyonites, the Autobot Sentinels that will be defending Cherub Ratchet and his accomplices, that transforms from a Maximal into a Coyote. And then you have another one, which is a Lionite, which is going to be a bigger and bulkier Autobot or Maximal drone. So think of them as Viacons, but they're Maximals serving Cherub Ratchet. So I'm going to be getting the second one to work at some point. I do have a couple of other a few models that I wanted to show off for, if I can find it, not Missilican, but I think I know where Axel Zeus is. I can just go ahead and show off another character before I get to that. So this character that I've got at the works is Retsuka, or Risky Boots in this iteration, were a lot more modest than the Way Forward iteration. But part of that has to do with the exploration to the Xiairyu and Lingque during and even after the Second World War, where she has been an ally to Hanzo during their fight against the Lingque up until a certain point when Hanzo ends up choosing Kuika as his new wife, despite being his genie slave, which pretty much leaves Retsuka pretty jealous and upset about that. And that would also fill in certain elements in the story for Shanta Hisashi, where she's very likely I wouldn't say godmother, but more like a unknown guardian to both Shanta and her uncle back in Taiwan. So there's going to be more details about that as it comes along, but I've been working on some updates on the roster, just seeing what direction it's going to go. Now that I have 4 more films to be working on in 2026. So here's her hat, and then here she is without it, so I might have to go back and fix some things with it, but other than that, I think it's going fairly well. Go ahead. And this is based off of the artwork that I've created for the character in question. Okay, very nice. Alright, so let me see if I can go ahead and find Axel Zeus if she's not in... Okay, so if she's not in any of the recent, I might have to go ahead and look for the model. Just give me a sec. So there's definitely some new things coming along, and Nibiru Crisis Lithium is going to get the most amount of modeling done, whereas with the later films, I probably, even Dark Redemption to a lesser extent, is going to... Okay, where is it? Is probably going to have less modeling to work with. Okay, there it is. It just has to be under the Etna folder. Alright, so here is Axel Zeus. One of the Missilican troops that would be revealed later into the storyline. She's first revealed in Nibiru Crisis Lithium as one of the more recent additions to the Missilican army, and has a bit of a a history to that, which you'll be able to know once the films come out. But slightly more modest compared to all the other Mesolekan troops that are dressed like this, but I mean, that's just her. Part of that inspiration comes from the fact that I was originally going to have Nitro Zeus in, but ended up doing a bit of a mix of Axel and Nitro Zeus, and this is what ended up being. And there's our axe. I think I might have one more that I wanted to show off. I don't need to save it. So let me have a moment to find one more character that I was going to include. I know that there's one other character that's going to play a really big role in the future films, but, well, at least one of them anyways, but let's see, where can I find it? I don't have anything as far as like a scene for, if I can find it, because I know I do have it. So one of the key scenes that's going to be in Nibiru Crisis Lithium is going to be the Mombasa Library, and that would be on one of the Halo factories that's close to Cybertron. And once again, I'm trying to find that file that has both Etna and Velvet inside the dark chamber. Okay, so it does not have it. Sorry, I'm looking for it. Because I know I've worked on it at some point in time. I just need to know where it is. Okay. Okay, so maybe it's not. That's interesting. Okay, so I might do this. So hold on. I'm going to go ahead and open this up right here. So, not exactly the same scene that I was looking for, but go ahead. No, that's not what I was switching over to. I'm going to go ahead and show this off. So, something a little bit like this. Okay, there we go. So, something like that. What I was going for is that as Velvet goes into, hold on. There she is with the animation that I added in. So this is going to be the Mombasa Library, where she would end up going inside the chamber where that Halo factory ring is going to be. And then you would have Prima Spark right here, who would end up running into an unknown robot that would initially ally with these two at first, but then things spiral out of control, and then they would have to try to run for it while trying to get the Forbidden Book. So this is what the Mombasa Library is going to be. It's just this dark, mysterious area that Cybertron has been keeping for years on end. I'm hoping that something very controversial wouldn't be put out up until Velvet would end up finding it. So, and then it gets dark again. But I'm going to go ahead and stop right here. But this is the testing that I was working on that's also running at 60 frames. But that's pretty much it as far as the update goes for Nibiru Crisis Lithium. It's probably going to be a shorter one once I do this again. But I'll have more updates coming along, and it's going to be a shorter one, so the animation should not take as long as Godzilla Minus 3. So thanks for checking in, and I will be seeing you all guys later. Over and out.